What's up, y'all? Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome to another video. In this video, we are working on some Beamer brakes. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so in the running theme of working on my wife's stuff while she is gone out of the country, we're doing a full StopTech front and rear rotors. We got new pads, we got all the new sensors and all that stuff you gotta add on BMWs when you do this kind of stuff, and we're also gonna paint her calipers. She's been talking about wanting to have her calipers painted for a while now, and so I'm gonna go ahead and do it in this cool purple, and that should be sweet. So let's get this thing into the garage. Ugh, that is much tighter than I had expected. Well, fudge. I'm gonna try to straighten it up a little bit. It's kind of crooked in here. Maybe we can get this one done in the garage, and then we'll have to go outside and do the other ones. But yeah, it's kind of tight. Okay, so a little bit too tight. I thought I had more room than that, but her car is super wide, so we're gonna do it at the top of the driveway and out in the hot sun. All right, finally got everything situated. That's one thing I hate about this area right here, is the driveway is steep as a horse's face, and there's like one flat spot in the whole thing, so you have to move everything around to do anything. But yeah. All right. I mean, just look at how cruddy and rusty these things are. Not to mention they're probably pretty worn, but good grief. Okay, I've sprayed PB Blast on the set screw here. This thing hopefully will break free without any hassle. Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. All right, we'll leave that right there for the time being. Next up is this crusty rattle clip here. Thought maybe I could do it with my hand, but I can't. Push and out. And so, yeah, I guess next up will be I'll go ahead and replace the brake pad sensor, or the brake wear sensor that runs up along through here in the back there. We'll get that done and out of the way. That way we don't have to worry about it later. All right, to replace that, we had to remove the inner liner. Got those 6 pieces of hardware. You can fold the flat back and you'll get right here to the sensor plug-in, a little junction box. We are replacing the white one, so we'll unplug that, replace the sensor, run the wire down and around. You can't see it, it's too dark probably, but let me bump that up just a skidge. There we go. Runs around down through there, runs around, and then back into the caliper right there. So let me grab our new sensor and we'll do that. This is actually a pretty straightforward process. You just unplug the sensor and run along the wire there and undo all the clips, and plug it back in and then redo all the clips. There's only one way to plug in the sensor, so you can't really mess it up. Alrighty, got all that ran. We'll just have that dangling to the side for now. We got the dirt. It has a little like groove that it slides into there, so it's kind of hard to not get it in there right. So yeah, everything is hooked up with the sensor. Put this liner back in there, and we're done with all that. Next up, we got 2 guide pins on the back side of the caliper here. Not sure if you can see that or not, but there's 2 guide pins, 7mm hex, and we can get this caliper off of here. Remove the little dust caps they have inside of the hex little sleeve there. You'll see it. It's like a little rubberized boot that goes around the pin, or the bolt I should say. And then you pop those off, and here we go. Oh man, that's tight. We may need to get our extension and try to run it through these suspension arms, but we'll see. Owie, that one broke free. Now this guy, come on. I need you to work with me, even if it's just for a second. Owie, yep. Okay, both pins are now out, so the caliper should be able to just come right off. The front pad might fall out, I've heard, so just be mindful of that, I guess. And out we go. Front pad, ugh, not too terrible, I guess, but man, I've been noticing these rotors have like cracks on them, and that is not good at all. I'm just using the old pad to help me push the caliper back in. Not sure if you can see that or not, but the caliper is extended, or the piston is extended, so you gotta push it back in there. They sell a tool that will do that, but you can do it with your hand, I think. Well, I just did it, but if it's stiff, then you got other issues, I think. But yeah. Anyway. Oh, look at that rust. Good grief. And okay, now I'm gonna remove this little carrier bracket here. and then we can start cleaning stuff up and getting this rotor off of here. I'm curious to see what else I find on this rotor, but there is definitely a half circle, 2 half circles of cracks. I'll show you that in a second, but whew. This little guy has 2 16mm bolts that'll get you right into the sweet spot. I have a feeling I'm gonna slam my elbows onto the ground again. Where's my other glove? Before I mash my knuckles into something here. Here we go. Oh, that's not so bad. It's loose. All right. Now we go back to the smaller socket, and maybe I can get them out of there with that. Oh yeah. Give me a couple minutes and I'll have this thing off of here. And there we have it. Okay, now that we have this off of here, let's go clean this thing up with some brake cleaner. We'll get all this like brake dust and rust and stuff out of here, out of the guides there for the brake pads, and then we can get this thing painted up, and then we can get the caliper painted up and cleaned up as well. Basically, all we're doing here is soaking this thing down with brake cleaner, taking this wire brush and scrubbing into those guides, getting that caked in brake dust and stuff out of there, using the red Scotch-Brite pad as well to kind of get in the tight places, scrub down the rest of the bracket, get it cleaned up and prepared for paint. And so now I'm going to tape this thing up, and we're going to put some silver base coat on the edges here, and then we can lay that purple on there and see how cool this is going to look. Okay, first coat of silver has been applied. While this is drying, let's go throw on the rotor. Assuming this thing is seized to the hub here, which I can almost bet that it is. Put to the side. Daggone. Let me get a different hammer here. The rubber one's not cutting it. Huh. No, I see the line. I think it's just corroded and rusted on there. I was like, is this all one piece? I've not seen that in anything I've looked at. But I see the line starting to form now, so hopefully we can get this off of here. Oh, okay. Whew. Oh, that had me a little bit worried. I was like, is that seriously something that is like I've not seen and it's like all one piece? And after seeing these rotors, man, these things were due. All right, now is the perfect time to clean this up with a wire brush, some brake cleaner, and then I'm gonna put some anti-seize paste on this to where that doesn't happen again in the future. Here is that crack I was talking about. I'm not sure if it's a crack or like I can't feel anything, but that little half circle right there, that to me that to me just doesn't seem good. So yeah, glad that's coming off. Glad these are going on. That did have me concerned because I figured, knowing BMW, everything I looked up was like just the regular X1, and this is an M Sport, so I thought for sure BMW has some like proprietary M Sport thing. But let's get this rotor on there. Oh yeah, look at that. Now we have a brand new set screw. I might just hit a dab of the paste. Put that in there just like that. Ah, that looks super nice. Okay, I went ahead and got this stuff taped off, plasticed off, and we already put a coat of silver onto the caliper itself, and so we're letting that dry, and then we're going to do one more coat of silver, and then we're going to put the purple on there and see how that looks. But let me go show you the other bracket that we've already done. It looks awesome. This looks super cool, very deep purple, just what I had in mind actually. So that's going to work out great. We're letting this dry, and yeah, we'll throw it on here in just a minute. First coat complete. Now we let it dry and we do one more coat and we can put this all back together. Whew, that looks so good. Let's get the bracket mounted back on and we can see it against the rotor and all that jazz. This has still got to dry for quite a while. We just finished putting the second coat of purple on there, and so yeah, this is going to take a little bit longer to dry, but it should be fine in a little bit. All right, we're going to throw the pad on now. We went ahead and put some of that anti-seize on the ears of the pad where it like slides in these little guides here, and then we got to wait a minute before we can put on the inner pad on the caliper itself, but man, this looks so much better. Okay, these carrier bracket bolts go to 65 Newton meters or 48 foot-pounds. Hopefully I can get my wrench in here to do this. There we are. Awesome. Yeah. All right, went ahead and lubed the little pins that go into the piston on the caliper. That way they don't rust like they did before, and they slide out a little bit easier and all that. And we did the same thing on the guides there as well. So let's pop this pad in. Okay, now we got this thing torqued down. The two bolts in the back there, or those little guide pins, go to 35 Newton meters or 28 foot-pounds, I think it was. Yes, the calculation I did on this site here for a calculator, it says 35 Newton meters converts to 25.8 foot-pounds, or I did it to 26. But yes, now we got to put in this little brake pad wear sensor, and there's only one way to do it. It has this little knob here goes towards the brake pad. We should hear, let me get a light here. We should hear it click. Boom. And boom, we are done. That is kind of a bummer because I definitely ordered the wrong clips. It said they were the right ones, but they definitely do not fit in there. And so we had to use the old rusty ones for the time being. I'll go order some of the right ones and get them in there. But for now, that looks like poopy. Everything else, super nice. Let's throw the wheel back on and yeah, see how it looks all on the ground. All right, and one more little finishing touch that she doesn't even know about. We got some center caps. Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm looking at it. I think we're all looking at it. What are you doing with that kind of alignment right there? Whew. All right, since that side is done, I'm gonna go ahead and jump over to the driver's side, do that real fast and try to get it complete and go from there. This is taking me a lot longer than I had anticipated. You know what, while I'm waiting on that paint to dry on the other caliper, I'm gonna do something I've been wanting to do for a while, and that's paint this little muffler part back here. I'm gonna grab some of the high heat like satin black we have, and I'm gonna coat that thing because I hate that silver just showing down out of the bumper like that. Look at that. Ugh. Oh man, rusty, poopy, silver. Ah, that is much, much better. You know, this job really isn't all that hard. The most time-consuming thing is waiting for the paint to dry. We're doing several coats of paint, well, 2 coats of paint per color, and it just takes so much time waiting for it to dry and all that stuff. I think if you were doing just the brake job, the rotors and pads and all that, it really wouldn't take all that long. Oh, that looks so much better. So much better, like 100 times. Don't mind the rock chips. I don't know what these wheels, the powder coating on them or whatever, but those are just rock chips. There's one there, one there, one there on the spoke. There's one down there. But yeah, this looks fantastic. Also, on the other side that we just did earlier, how did my OCD allow that to happen? I think I was in a rush. I'm gonna have to pop that cap back off of there and line it up with the other Rays logo. That's not gonna fly. All right, so we're losing daylight. I'm not even gonna bother starting on the front ones today. I'm not sure how long this video is gonna be, so if you're seeing the ending here, I decided to end it and do 2 separate videos. If not, I'll catch you tomorrow. All right, here we are the next morning. We tried to get an early jump on this because the day before was really, really warm, but today was something else. It was supposed to be well into the 90s, and so tried to get a good start on it and just knock this thing out. One thing I would like to note while we're waiting for the paint to dry, 1, it's hotter than it was yesterday. 2, this side, much like the rear, does not have that brake pad sensor. Those are only on the driver's side. So yeah, I didn't realize that when I started doing this, but yeah, only on the driver's side. Okay, moving on to the driver's side now. I had to put up my like 10 by 10 like old like branded like canopy tent for events and things because it is wildly hotter today than it was yesterday. Yesterday was hot, but today is much, much worse. Let's get this driver's side wheel off and get this caliper and stuff painted and get the brakes on there, and we're almost there. There are some different torque values on the front compared to the rear, and whenever I get to those, I will put those up on the screen here. But yeah, they are different than the rear. Also, yeah, I'm not 100% sure why I didn't do this earlier, but you know what? I don't want to talk about it. All right, pry the spacer off of here. Oh, the passenger side was much more stuck on there. We are running 12.5mm spacers on this thing to clear the struts here. I want to put some on the rear because the rear is still kind of like sunken in a little bit, and I don't like that at all. So I feel like 10 to 12 on spacers is fine. I feel like anything more than that, you're getting a little risky there, but yeah. This sensor is the one that came with the brake pads. They definitely have it running like a different way. Yeah, I'm not too big of a fan of that, but oh well, it is what it is, I suppose. And I don't even know that that fits. I'll have to figure out something with that here in a minute, but for now I'm trying to put this up top and we'll figure it out later. The process for the front is almost identical to the one in the rear, except for the different torque values when you're putting things back on. Oh, thank God. I was like, no, do not. You're the only one that's frozen. Yeah. Off comes the little dust caps. What in the F? Okay, there we go. I still can't get to it though. Shoot. You're so close. Come on. There we go. All right. Hot diggity. Now we're cooking with gas. Caliper goes this way. Huzzah. Let's see if I can squeeze this side easier than I did the other side. Oh man, the front ones are so much tougher than the back ones. Oh, it's going in so slow. Work with me. Oh, okay, I think I got it. As far as it'll go. Now we just pop out this pad and we're good. Got the rest in there. Now, carrier bolts. These are a little bit tighter on the torquage, so it takes a little bit more effort. Yeah, there we go. All right. Nice and slow. I like that. That works for me. Just like before, more wire brushing on this stuff. We'll paint the inside of this black. We'll put some anti-seize around the edge of the hub here, get this face all cleaned up, and then the rotor should go right on. One thing I wanted to note about these brake pads, the old ones have no like kind of plate back here. This one has this plate with like these little ears on it, and those obviously was not working, and so I took a pair of big pliers and I just snapped those off, and now the way it slides on, it goes right past this and you're all good to go. So I did have to break off these little ears on the back of the pads. Last first coat of purple. All right, now I let that dry for 10 minutes. Rotoro, there's my set screw. There we go, there's the set screw. Now, dibble dabble a little bit of this onto there. These look so much better than the stock ones. I know I've said that 1,000 times, but man, they just look so good. Okay, so these 16-inch carrier bolts on the front go to 110 newts or 81 foot-pounds. So we're gonna tighten these up best we can with the little small guy, and then we're gonna adjust our little torquey and snug time. Grab the pads and pop in the outer pad, and then we'll pick up the caliper here in about another 5 minutes or so after it dries a little bit longer. Throw in the inner pad, and then we should be able to pop it right on there. Boop. Boom. Alrighty, now I gotta go back and try to figure out what I'm gonna do with this sensor here real fast, so give me a minute. Alright, so I went ahead and popped it in there, but I'm not a big fan of how it runs. It runs through here as it's supposed to, but then it has to go like up and around and behind this. It's not in this connector right here, it's just kind of back there. I'm gonna order one of the like OEM style ones instead of this one that came with the brake pads, and put that in whenever I go to do the stud kit that's on order here, and that way I can get this thing to where it's supposed to be and ran how it's supposed to be ran, like through this little black clip right here as well, and it just comes around this way. It's much cleaner and it's not in all this junk back here, which, you know, I don't think anything will happen, but still. Okay, so now these caliper guide pins that we just put in, the little 7mm guys, I think those are the same. Those go to 35 newts and or 26 foot-pounds. So 26, boop, Boom. Reinstall the dust caps. And now this bitch. These are new. The ones that I ordered for the front were the right ones. And so these being new, they are an absolute pain in the ass to install. And boom, just like that, 15 minutes later and a couple scratches, it's on there. And you know what? These things suck. I hate these things so much, but it's on there. Yeah, a couple things here. I cannot wait to install that stud kit. And two, we have got to fix this wheel gap. Whew. All right, so on the ground now, all that's left to do is take this thing for a drive and see how it feels and bed them in a little bit. And yeah, should be much, much better. Was enjoying the AC for a second. That was much better. There's no wobbling in the steering wheel. There's none of that. It's weird what new brakes will do for you. Yeah. All right, that's gonna do it for this project. This video is probably pretty long at this point, but we got everything done. We got the front and rear brakes put on. It's much, much better. It's well overdue to have those things put on there. But yeah, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it very much. As always, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. And if you have any questions or anything like that, drop those down there as well. Be glad to help much as I can, chat, whatever. And I will see you next time. Bye.